What's up?
What's up, everyone?
Yeah, we got a chat going already here, man. We got Lewis up in here. Sean's here. Sparks jumped in.
Nice.
I know some other people were telling me they were going to come by. They were interested in what we had to say because we are kind of like two of the main fighting game guys in the comics community.
Yeah, although I gotta put a disclaimer. Between the two franchises, I think you know this. I've always been more partial to Street Fighter than Mortal Kombat. I have played Mortal Kombat, but yeah, Street Fighter,
I
exactly.
ain't got no Mortal Kombat shirt, dude.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, but I'm not one of those people that kind of hates one
No,
and
not
likes
at
the other.
all. Actually, I really like Mortal Kombat a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know if it would be my number two to Street Fighter. Street Fighter as a franchise, maybe the number one slot.
Yeah.
And then I'd say up there toward the top, I do like Smash Bros a lot. So
Yeah.
I put that pretty high up in the ranks there.
Okay, so the thing is, I guess because I'm thinking of Smash Brothers, even though technically it is a fighting game, I always kind of thought of it as a different genre in a sense. Like I never actually, I know that usually it's obviously in Evo tournaments and all that, but usually when I think of fighting games, I usually think of like the classic 2D, like Killer Instinct, MK, Mortal Kombat. Those are the ones that I kind of, and yeah. But yeah, I love Smash
I
Bros.
like the Super Nintendo edition of Killer Instinct a lot, actually.
I do remember playing that actually. I never owned any SNES, but I do remember playing that a couple of times.
Yeah, I definitely, it was a go-to fighter for me. We've talked about this before when we've been on stream, and I'll show it for these guys. Like I think that's probably our main genre, right? For games, is probably fighting games.
I would say, just based on the fact that SF, this is just my own personal bias. I would say it's my favorite game ever. So I guess by default, you could say that fighting games are my favorite.
Yeah, so I was just showing him before. I've got this custom build arcade system here.
Nice,
It's always ready to rock. It's got every classic game that, like Hyper, if we ever met, you would definitely be jamming out with me on this because, like, we could call up anything, like, really off the cuff, like imported Japanese games on there and stuff,
Oh my gosh, yeah. I don't know how.
Even non-fighters, man, you know what's really fun to play on that? Believe it or not, Game Boy Advance games play really well with stick and buttons. I don't know why that is, but like side-scroller and top-down view games for Game Boy Advance are super fun to play on the big screen cabinet.
Yeah, I can see that because I guess, like for exactly what you said, they're top-down, they're side-scroller, so it's almost like it's kind of like tailor-made for like classic arcade action.
Okay, cool. So before we dive into this movie, though, what is your favorite Mortal Kombat game that you've played? You said you haven't played them all.
Okay, so here's the thing. Because, I grew up more with SF than with Mortal Kombat. I played the 16-bit Mortal Kombat, but honestly, I delved more into Mortal Kombat when it came into the next generation. Okay. I would say my favorite, based on just the fighting and even like everything, story, fighting, everything, because nowadays, story seems to matter in fighting games. I would say Mortal Kombat 9.
Dude, we are going to get along really well. That's mine.
Nice.
We already get along. We talked many times before, but like for this conversation, we're going to be able to. I think our gauge of this movie is going to be pretty similar because, first of all, let's just go out and say this now. This is a decent story movie, but they weren't going to make a movie that was as good as Mortal Kombat 9's story. That's not possible.
No, well, also 9 had the luxury of having like hours and hours of cutscenes, which honestly for a fighting game, it's normally stories usually takes the back seat for fighting games. But I thought the 9 story was actually pretty well fleshed out.
9 was so good it made 10 feel like a big letdown.
Okay, so the thing is, I like 10 only because I kind of found that it kind of, I guess, was a nice successor to 9. Whereas like 9, there's a lot of things that were left up in the air, like by the end of it. Mm-hmm. Like the whole fate of Liu Kang and all that, like, was kind of like, okay, what the hell, like, and then it's almost like 10 kind of answered some of those questions. So for that reason, 10 kind of holds a special place. But yeah, story wise, I think 10 was shorter, right?
It was really short. That's what I'm saying. It's like very much of a letdown, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, it's fine. The mechanics were fine. I thought the overall 9 was a smoother game. 11, I've not played, so I can't comment on 11.
I have not played 11 either. I'm at a point where with everything going on, I haven't bought a game at full price in a long time. So
yeah. Last one for us was Mario Maker for the Switch, because that was like, that was like a have to buy, because I really liked Mario Maker a lot, and Mario Maker 2 for the Switch is amazing.
Nice. I mean, I think I'd really have to go way back to figure out when was the last time I bought something at full price. Honestly, okay. Again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Probably the only franchise that would probably twist my arm into buying it day one full price would be Street Fighter. That's probably, and even then, I'd probably look at pre-order deals or something to kind of get those extra discounts.
I think I told you this before, but me and my wife, we've traveled abroad, and we were in Japan whenever Street Fighter V came out, and I actually stood in line to play it.
Yeah,
at the arcade, obviously, not the console.
And I'm guessing that in Japan, the release date came way before it arrived in North America.
Oh, certainly, because we're barely even getting arcade games anymore, which is stupid, I think. Arcade games are a regular part of life in Japan. Like your average like bumfuck town with 800 people in it has arcades.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably showing my age, obviously, but I remember the times when after school you kind of go to you didn't even have to go to like you said, like an actual proper arcade. You could go to like a corner store.
That's true.
Or even donut shops had their arcade machines to kind of attract customers, and you put in those quarters, and I remember playing Street Fighter Champion Edition and getting my ass kicked because I don't know the way that you know how it is, especially now that with emulators, you know how they could set the difficulty of the ROMs on the arcades. So it's nowhere near like the home console versions when you're actually playing it in an arcade.
That's difficulty. True. Yeah, that's true. Hey there. My favorite game back in the day, the arcade. Because remember, I'm not much younger than you. I'm a couple years younger than you. But my go-to was Children of the Atom.
Okay.
Yes, that was my go-to fighter for in the arcade. I did that more than I did Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And actually, my go-to Mortal Kombat game for classic is Mortal Kombat 2. Actually, I played the hell out of that.
Yeah,
but I played Mortal Kombat 3 in the arcade more than I played 2 in the arcade. But I played 2 at home more than I played 3 at home.
Yeah, I mean, 2 was a lot more of a bigger roster. Like I think 1 only had like 8 fighters. I think you could pick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, and 2 is when they actually started introducing stuff like. I mean, they always had fatality, but what was the other thing that they introduced in 2? Was it animality and all that? Was that?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I think that started it. Yeah, well, all the crazy ones happened in 3.
Right.
Fatality and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I also have the collection on the Switch of the Street Fighter collection that has like all the core games up until.
I bought that too. Yeah.
It's great. I love it, and I love how it has the original Street Fighter on it.
Oh, you mean SF1?
You want to talk about a hard-ass game, dude.
I could not pull off a fireball to save my life in that game.
Yeah, it's some bullshit. So we've been talking about the games, which makes sense. We wanted to talk about, fighters and stuff. We've been talking about that. But, we got to get into this movie, right? When did you see the movie, and did you see it on HBO Max or in the theater?
I actually saw... I saw it Friday. I saw it Friday, but okay, listen. Being from Canada, I kind of had to, I guess, take some unconventional means of watching it. Put it that way.
Oh, okay. I forgot about it. I know you're in Canada, but I didn't think about it. So we actually saw it in theater. My birthday was Friday, and we went Sunday to the movies. So
lucky! Theaters aren't even closed. Aren't even open in my area. So
Indiana, man, we lifted everything at the beginning of last month. Everything's wide open. Rates, the COVID infection rates are down. Vaccination rates are up.
We're wide open. Lucky you, man.
So, Yeah, we went to the movies and had a good old time, and I enjoyed it. And well, you know what? I just realized something.
What's up?
There is a new fighter approaching.
There's a new fighter approaching.
Yo, Team
Oh,
Hanzo is in the building.
Just in
Yo.
time to get into this movie, man.
This is the guy that should be in the chat also. He's definitely repping MK. I know. Me and J2 talked for a minute, I think, over the weekend about his experience watching Mortal Kombat, and I mean, we'll obviously delve into it deeper, but I know that he thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
we'll get to that, but we got to ask at least a cursory look at his games. Like, we don't have to go into all the arcades like me and Hyper just did. But what is your favorite of the MK games? Classic and new.
Classic, probably 2 or 3
2 for sure.
when it comes to classic. And then out of this current modern time, the reboot or whatever, I'd say, is it 9 when it came out on PlayStation 3?
We are all on the same page.
All three of us were saying the same thing. Yeah.
We said 2, pretty much 2 with a close second being 3, and then 9 being like the best one of all time.
Man, Mortal Kombat for me started on the Super NES. I'm old, so being able to just
we're the same age.
Yeah, man, the Super Nintendo, leg swooping fools, Scorpion all day, just because I was like, yo, that yellow and black suit looks so cool, and the dude throws chains out of his hand. Same fad of Team Hanzo all freaking day. I'm so excited to talk about this with y'all. Thanks, Travel. Thanks for letting me.
No problem, man. I'm glad to have you around the channel, man. I gave my closest representation some fighting game love. Nice. The original Street Fighter 2 roster.
Nice.
I'm so disappointed that like I'm the SF guy and I should be seen. Both of you are rocking your shirts.
You got that behind you though, man. You're good. I don't have anything.
Yeah, that's true. I got the post.
It's in the name, bro. It's in the name. Hyper Combo. Like, come on.
Yeah, it works.
That is true. That is the origin of my name. If people don't know, I got it from I believe it was Marvel vs. Capcom when the voice announcer would say like Hyper Combo finish. That's pretty much how the name came about.
Oh, I was gonna say too when I brought the thing about Children of the Atom. The one last note on arcades before we get too away from this movie. There's a game on this console here that I never played in the arcade that I actually like better than Marvel vs. Capcom. X-Men versus Street Fighter.
You know what?
Man,
that game is really good.
Dude, that's the one where no, you know what I'm thinking of? Sorry, I'm thinking of another one. I'm thinking of Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter.
I have that on here too.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm thinking of.
I don't like that one as much as Children of the Atom or X-Men versus Street Fighter. X-Men versus Street Fighter is very good. It holds up exceptionally well, man.
Sadly, I didn't play any of those. Marvel vs. Capcom, though, yes.
Mm-hmm. If you like Marvel vs. Capcom, you'd like X-Men vs. Street Fighter because it's more narrow on those two franchises rather than like everything.
You guys need to take a trip on down to the dirty South, man, because out here we still have arcades.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
Drop quarters in, get it popping, get it going, man.
I don't know if you were listening at the time, but I was talking about like when me and my wife were in Japan. Like I actually stood in line to play Street Fighter 5 when it came out.
That's so dope. That's awesome. What a memory.
It's crazy, cool. Dude. I was like, holy crap, this is happening right here. I wasn't there for that or anything like that, but it's like, I just realized, oh shit, the game got released and people were lining up. So I'm like, I have to line up for this. And I got to play as Mike Bison.
I jumped in. Bison, I thought looked cool. I watched the Street Fighter movie. I remember that movie.
But I know Hyper knows this, but you do know the 3 names that they changed, right? Bringing it to the English version, right? Because Mike Tyson had just got done suing over the Mr. Dream, Mike Tyson stuff from Punch-Out. Like he was suing over that stuff. So like when they had this game in Japan, the names were different. Balrog was M. Bison. He was Mike Bison. Okay. And Vega was Balrog. And Bison was Vega.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, so in Japan, you go there and you play as what you know as is Bison, right? But it'll say Vega underneath his character. And it'll say Mike Bison underneath Balrog.
Yeah, because people always wonder what does that M stands for in M Bison.
Yep,
I
Mike
jumped
Bucks.
in.
Nice precision. Okay,
I jumped in our conversation when y'all were talking about Mortal Kombat and where y'all had witnessed it.
okay, yeah. We are 15 minutes in this video, and I want this thing to be under an hour because we got to jet over to Sparks after this.
Let's do this.
Yeah, so let's do this. The movie, Jay. When did you see it? Because he saw it by illegal means. I saw it in the theater.
I saw it
Unconventional means.
opening. I saw it opening weekend, Saturday. Excitement to the real. I rented out a theater. So
I remember you talking about that.
Listen. Full
theater.
disclaimer. Full disclaimer. I don't have the luxury that you two have of actually going to the theater. All right, so I'm just putting. I gotta do what I gotta do. But
hey, you still saw it though, man. I took the kiddo. Her and I went and we enjoyed it thoroughly, super
Nice.
thoroughly. And then I watched it immediately after we left the theater. I have HBO Max. I've seen it legitly 7 times now.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
You've seen it more than both of us combined. Then
I've seen it 7 times now, man. And I say it proudly. I know a lot of we're gonna review it. We're gonna talk about it. I know people have what their say, but personally, I enjoyed it. And I'm a fun guy, and I thought the movie was fun. It entertained me, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah. So J2 clearly he is on the furthest end of the spectrum of loving. Yeah. I am not too far behind him. I went in. Here's what I like about this movie. Okay. First of all, in 2021, movies I will grade higher if they keep me engaged from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
This movie kept me engaged from start to finish. I enjoyed the movie. Like, I didn't feel like I wanted to drop it. But the other thing about this is I think that this movie had an edge for me because this is a movie that nobody was really asking for, man. There is a perfectly good Mortal Kombat movie from the 90s. There's also a perfectly bad one, but there's a perfectly good one that is arguably the best video game movie ever made, the 1995 Mortal Kombat. That is like I would say in that context. So people weren't really screaming from the rooftops, hey, let's get a Mortal Kombat movie, because you're not really doing that about a one that actually was decent. So they pulled this out of nowhere and don't even tell anybody until like 3 months ago.
Well, I'm one of those guys. I had been following it since like the whole Mortal Kombat Legacy, when they first tried to get a movie out, and then they were like, all right, well, to the director, they gave him that web series first, and based on the success of that web series, they were going to offer him then a full-length feature film. Well, something happened. It went good. They offered him the project, but he backed down. And at the time, James Wan stepped in to be the director, and then moved down to the producer, because I do believe he produced the film still. Mm-hmm. So I've been hyped. Like, I've been ready for a Mortal Kombat movie since,
since Annihilation.
Yeah. I had the luxury of seeing the one in '95 in the theaters. My stepdad.
I saw Annihilation in the theater, but I saw the first one when my dad got it on VHS. But I saw Annihilation in the theater opening weekend.
So here's the thing. My story with Annihilation was I didn't see it until like for my friend's birthday. Like, he's also a bit of a fighting game fan. So I got him the DVD of Mortal Kombat Annihilation before even seeing the movie myself. After watching the movie, I actually apologized to him, because knowing like what the 1995 movie was and how much of a fall from grace that, I mean, yeah, it was. Look, it had its moments, but
yes, it did.
It's just all the way down to the special effects and all that.
Are you talking about Annihilation?
Yeah, I can appreciate campy, corny. Like, look, I have the Van Damme Street Fighter on Blu-ray, so I'm down with campy. But it gets to a point where it almost looks like no effort was even put in that movie. So that
I rewatched Annihilation yesterday.
Oh my god!
It was on HBO Max, and I was not tired of watching this new one, but I was at work. I was able to sit down and like process orders in, so I could sit and just relax. So I cut on Annihilation. Oh, it was horrible.
I was
It
gonna
was
ask.
horrible.
I was gonna ask.
But
you
the
'cause
first one still
clearly-
holds up really well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I was curious about J2's opinion because out of the three of us, clearly it seems like J2 is more of the diehard. And so I was curious if Annihilation is what probably broke you. So, because
Yeah, Annihilation was garbage, bro. Dumpster juice. It was at the bottom of the barrel.
okay, because I wasn't sure if you're like one of those fans that you'll take anything that they say as long as it
Nah.
has the name Mortal Kombat on it.
That's a good question. Yeah, because I think you and me are kind of like that with the Street Fighter movie.
Hey, but listen, Street Fighter, as I know a lot of people knock that movie, but you know what? If you don't take it too seriously,
That's
that
true.
movie it has its charm.
That's true.
I classify it as like one of those guilty pleasure movies that you could watch on a rainy Sunday.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to rewatch this.
The biggest problem I have with that movie is if they had made the decision to not make Ryu and Ken comic relief. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That would have been a game changer for the whole film.
Pretty much, yeah. I think the only ones that were accurate to the games were like Zangief and E Honda. And even E Honda, they made him Hawaiian instead of Japanese. So
Yeah, and what the hell? But and then of course Bison was pretty good. But
yeah, and that was I think
This
his
doesn't
last
look cool to me.
that's right. Yeah. So anyway, so this movie, all right. So with this one, man, like, all right. So I'm like, all right. I'm not opposed to a Mortal Kombat movie by any stretch, but I don't. Hey, Caroline just dropped in. What's happening?
What's up?
We're doing spoilers here, girl. So be careful.
So spoil the crap out of this movie.
Yeah, we're gonna do it, man. Okay, so anyway, I'm not really like opposed to a Mortal Kombat movie, but again, there's a good one from 1995. We don't need it, right? We could not have it and be okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we can sit there and say, "Damn, why didn't they ever make a Mortal Kombat movie?" So anyway, so it comes out. It's looking good. All right, the trailers and stuff they show are looking good, and I'm starting to hear people say that they like it and stuff. And I got a coworker that was talking about it, and he was down to see it really quickly. And the closer we got to my birthday, the more I started realizing, damn, I am a Mortal Kombat fan, right? I want to revive that a little bit. Oh, yeah. So, and Liz, my wife, she doesn't really know anything about Mortal Kombat. She has watched me play a game a couple times, and she's jumped in on this system with me a few times. But she has seen the first movie, but I've never put her through my Annihilation. So, she doesn't know what to really go into expecting this. She doesn't know lore. She doesn't know any of that stuff. And she walked away really liking it. I could see she was engaged in the movie when we were there watching it. Like, it didn't take long. Though, in fact, I'll go ahead and say, first spoiler is I knew the moment I knew that it was going to be a good movie was Sub-Zero walking down the street and Jax is throwing the car in reverse.
Man.
That's why I was like, okay, this movie is going to be awesome because the approach they're taking to it. Yeah.
I like that scene too. The only con I had with it was I wish if it's a rated R movie already, why did you make like ice balls? You should have made spikes, man. This is Mortal Kombat. Let's see some blood. Drop some icicles, like sharp icicles down. But I'm not saying it was bad. I was just like, some spikes, dude. Like, leave your name. Leave your mark. You're supposed to be this big badass.
Well, they certainly made up for it with Jackson the next scene.
Man, yeah. Oh, man, that scene is crazy. My favorite from the movie is the very beginning, in which I totally hate they released the 7 minutes on YouTube.
Oh, you didn't like that?
No, that's my favorite scene. Like that whole the opening scene.
On
Hanzo pre Sub-Zero pre Scorpion. That in the entire movie.
Them to go that route.
I loved it.
Yeah. My biggest surprise in this movie, for me, the biggest surprise, I knew that there was going to be like almost the entire roster of the original game, right? Mm-hmm. And they pretty much, besides Johnny Cage, and he still made it in there, right? Everyone from MK1 was in there. Well, that's not true because Reptile's not in there, and Reptile was a special character from MK1.
Well, wasn't that dude considered Reptile?
The lizard?
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be Reptile because he camouflaged. He did the whole camouflage and everything.
He was so Reptile cool. From the Mortal Kombat Annihilation movie.
I thought he looked so cool. I was like, "Yo, this is dope." But if people can believe in a big Godzilla, you can believe in a ninja fighting reptile, right?
Yeah. So anyway, I knew they were going to have the whole roster right, but Natara and Cabal was surprising. I did not expect them to make it in the movie, and how well they did them. The way they went about Cabal was absolutely awesome. I could take a Cabal freaking spinoff movie, dude.
I could see them doing like a show because he is part of the Black Dragon, and the reason why he has that stuff on him is because of Kano.
That was, dude. That was good practical effects costuming with
Cabal. Yeah,
I caught Cabal in the trailer.
Remember what they did with Cabal and Annihilation, right? They literally just name dropped him.
Yeah,
I don't even. It's been a while since I saw Annihilation. To be honest, I can't.
So Rain is reporting to Shao Kahn, and he's like, "We have defeated two of Earth's greatest warriors, Cabal and Stryker." It's like, okay.
Well, I mean, I'll just speak for myself. I'm not pining to see Stryker.
Of course not. But to throw the name in there just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
With no intention of having him in. Obviously, he's not going to be in the third movie because he died off camera in the second movie. If they ever made a third, you know. But Cabal, that would have been great because Annihilation came out not too long after MK3, and Cabal was fresh on that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
I caught Cabal in the trailer. Who?
Notaro didn't get much screen time, right? I mean, I know that she showed up, but did she even actually?
They put her in there, and it was a bittersweet way of doing it. It was better than the Shiva death from Annihilation, where literally a chandelier falls on her. Like she's actually kicking some ass, and then they run her through the freaking buzzsaw thing.
Yeah, I mean, she got the most memorable fatality.
Certainly.
Yeah. Oh, it was I like that one a lot. It was awesome. But I guess my question about her and who was it, Reiko? Like, why, out of all the Mortal Kombat characters you can pick, that dude Reiko, I don't even think he didn't even say anything in the entire movie. I don't think he had not one line.
I think he was pretty much like a grunt.
Yeah.
Well, but to be fair, Goro didn't say very much either.
No, man, bro, Goro went out like, oh.
Okay.
They did Goro dirty.
Real quick, call it right here. All right.
Yeah.
95 Goro or this Goro?
I knew you were gonna ask that. I'm gonna go 95 all day. 95, and I'll tell you why. The difference between 95, even though obviously the CGI is much more advanced now, and he's able to do a lot more movements, whereas in 95 was more puppeteering. Mm-hmm. 95 Goro, when you watched him, and I remember I was probably like early teens, he's menacing. He could scare the shit out of you. Like
he's so badass. Yeah, he's so badass in that movie.
Like the way that they lined him, like they built him up, like, you know, in wrestling, you like to make a character believable, you kind of have to feed him like a bunch of, like, you know, guys to make him.
They did the classic.
He was pretty much like Shao Kahn's champion, and what he did like to Art Lean before he faced Johnny Cage and all that, like they built him up to like this threat. Whereas you look at this Goro, it's almost like he was almost like a foot soldier, as opposed to like a prince.
Yes.
He's supposed to be Prince Goro, but in this movie he felt more like a foot soldier, like someone that just.
And going into your point, another reason why I'm going to take 95 Goro is there's now no opportunity to have him get busted in his junk by Johnny Cage, because he died in this movie, and that's synonymous with Mortal Kombat at this point. You know, Johnny Cage did that move in the game, and everybody remembers the graphic of Goro with all four arms going, oh.
But I mean, this is probably, I guess, an underlying thing that we might have to address. A lot of the deaths that happen in this, I don't think they're going to be like the finality of these characters, because a lot of mainstay characters died in this movie, and I don't think they're all going to stay dead.
So you're implying that there is going to be a second movie?
Kung Lu? Oh, there's definitely going to be a second movie. I
hope there is.
No, because some of the actors are apparently signed on for at least 4 projects.
Taslim is one of them.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And he died as Sub-Zero, so I'm pretty sure.
You know what's happening next?
Noob Saibot.
Oh,
yeah, man. This to me was like a Noob Saibot origin story.
It felt like it with whenever they're talking about him dying in the black smoke.
Who was I talking to about? I was talking to someone about this the other day, and if you look at it I think someone online was specking, like just in Google. I was looking at Mortal Kombat Easter eggs and this and that, and apparently someone was quoted. I believe it was the director quoted Orjo Taslim that the suit was made. Sub-Zero's suit was made that way on purpose. That it wasn't as blue as it was, particularly if you go back to the scene where you first see Sub-Zero walking towards Shang Tsung on Shang Tsung's island.
Yep.
The reflection of the suit goes from like blue to green, like a purple to a green.
Oh, okay.
And he said that it was their nod to Noob Saibot, and they're ready to bring Noob Saibot into the movie. So I'm like, well, shit. All right. So it was a Noob Saibot origin story.
So I'll tell you this. I thought when I walked out of the theater, my thought was, man, they basically made this movie a retcon of the first game, where like Mortal Kombat 2 is like the first tournament, but Mortal Kombat 1 is just a bunch of people getting together and fighting beforehand.
Yeah. I was gonna say, imagine if they went the route of Mortal Kombat 4 and you came to find out that Sub-Zero was actually Quan Chi in disguise.
Man. Like we find that out in a second movie or something.
Yeah, imagine if that was the case all along, because that's what happened in MK4, right?
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Tom Stock Weekly, what's happening, man? Yeah, I'll just say this: Mortal Kombat 4 is one of my least replayed games, though.
You don't hear a lot of people. Yeah, I don't think you hear a lot of people talking about MK4 that much when they look back on the lineage.
Yeah. Okay. So since we're getting into that now, the next question I want to ask you guys, because this one's really important to me, because I'm a big lore guy. Obviously, I do Dungeons and Dragons, right? And Dungeons and Dragons is all about lore. Oh, yeah. I like the lore of Mortal Kombat a lot, and they did two things with this movie. They stayed true to a lot of lore in a very like direct way, but they also completely reinvented lore, like with the branding and stuff like that on the people. You know, what did you guys think about that plot point with the lore?
Jay, I'll let you take this one.
You're talking about as far as the branding?
Yeah, stuff like that, and like the origins and everybody.
I like it. I thought it was cool. I know a couple people don't like it. I thought it was dope. It's cool. Like you're chosen to go to this tournament, although we haven't seen a tournament yet, and I'm sure we will in the upcoming movie.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, I enjoy the fact that they have those, and you know, if you take out another champion, you take theirs if you didn't have one yet, and then you go search for your, what was it called? Arcana.
Yep, Arcana. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I think it's cool. I like the origins. I just love what they're doing with it.
Yeah, I thought it was really different enough, but not so much that it's like just out of control. But Hyper, what do you think about that?
Honestly, I kind of. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. I just thought of it. Okay, it's just something to move the plot along. I know some people, like Jay said, some people are kind of like had strong opinions on it. For me, it was like,
I'm not real strong on it. That's
yeah. Sure. It was just something to move the plot. I just thought it was a bit hilarious on how. Okay, so Raiden's choosing these guys that initially had the marking, and apparently they couldn't even hold it long enough that someone else ended up killing them and just taking their spot. Like, how good of a champion? How good of champions did Raiden actually end up choosing in the first place when they ended up getting killed and just getting their thing jacked? So
yeah,
probably not good at all.
But that made it a little bit interesting, because you got to wonder who these people that had the mark and you know what I mean, like who the fuck are they talking about? But then again, Sonya had the picture of Nightwolf and stuff.
Yeah, she had been doing it. Oh man, and in that same scene, did y'all see the little Kotal Khan Easter egg? That was dope.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and they showed
How about that?
What was it? Like a coin or some little mini bust. It was all gold, but it was Kotal Khan's head. Kotal Khan.
Oh, okay. I gotta because I only watched the movie once so far.
I've only seen it once at the theater.
Yeah, so. I haven't I need to rewatch it, catch some of the Easter eggs that I kind of missed.
I've broken it all down. I've been pausing it and looking at it.
So, by the way, I should note this. I am an hour away from where Sonya lived in that movie, Gary, Indiana. That's an hour from me.
Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yep. Speaking of, that actress who played Sonya was excellent. And I mean that in more ways than one, but but yeah, she was excellent. Really. I thought
you know what? I'm gonna have, and this is gonna be probably a recurring theme when we compare the two. I actually preferred the 1995 Sonya Blade better.
I
For
thought
more
about
ways,
it, and
for more ways than one.
they're both really good, but this one was a very good. This one is more fit for a modern acting role. That one is
Put it this way.
for her time.
Put it this way: when the young me saw Sonya Blade do that scissor kick finisher, yeah, it's like I'm like, who's really losing in that exchange?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, the adult me felt a lot of things from this one.
I enjoyed the old school Sonya, 95 Sonya, only because of my prior movie engagements with her. It was Billy Madison.
Yes.
She played the teacher. So
She's
I
also
kind
in
of
Last
already
Action
had
Hero.
that, like, oh.
Remember,
And to be honest,
she's in Last
Sorry, go
Action
ahead.
Hero too. She's Arnold's daughter.
That's right.
And between the two of them, her face, like the 95 face, she almost has that, like, she has that face that looks like, don't cross me kind of face, whereas this one is a little bit more pleasant, like the current Sonya Blade.
So anyway, let's just talk about the actress in general, and not try to compare it to previous film Sonyas. Like, I
Yeah.
get what you guys are going with
I
that,
liked it.
but I think this actress has a good future. She was good. She was a good actress.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of her previous
me
work, but just for this, the standalone, just seeing her as Sonya Blade, I like her portrayal of Sonya Blade.
Yeah.
Thought she was
And then also, if we are going to have sequels, like we're implying here, you think actress who plays Melina is coming back as Katana?
Wait, the actress playing Melina comes back as Katana?
Yeah.
To play Katana because they're twin sisters.
She's a clone of Katana mixed with the what are they called, Jay? I forget what they're called. The Bracca's race.
You're right. The Tartaron, right?
Yeah, Tartaron.
Tartaron, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Melina is Tartaron mixed with Katana.
You know what? I don't think we're gonna see the end of Katana. Not Katana, sorry, Melina.
Oh, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying why can't that actress come back and play Katana?
I think it's gonna be a different actress. I just feel
think
like
it's slightly different too.
Yeah, like maybe not identical, but I think they're gonna try to probably cast someone that's almost like similar in future because.
Oh, so they're gonna do some Tobey Maguire. What's his name? Jake Gyllenhaal shit.
Something like that, because I think what fans were kind of some of the things, like when I talk to like more diehard fans than me, like they were hoping to see because I saw Melina, they were hoping to see Katana because it's almost like you saw that rivalry in the game, so they were hoping that it would play out also. Because Katana came in 1995. Did Melina ever come in Annihilation? I don't remember.
Yeah, she's in Annihilation. Remember, she's fighting Sonya, and Sonya goes, Katana. She goes, you wish, bitch, or something like that.
Like I said, Annihilation was a distant memory, so it's almost like I have to revisit that. 95, I almost
and they even
remember
had Jake in Annihilation.
So we'll let's pause for a second here, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of trivia, okay?
Oh, yeah.
What is the origin in-game of Scarlet?
Wait, what?
Scarlet from Mortal Kombat. What is her origin in-game?
Oh, I think Jay's gonna have to take this one. I'm
Man, I'm thinking very hard. Like my head's starting.
It's a tough one, man.
Yeah, I can't even guess an answer.
Can I get a lifeline? Can I ask someone in the chat to help me?
Sean would be the only one I think might know. Maybe Lewis. So I want to give you guys like 10 seconds, like if you guys can think though. How did Scarlet come to be?
I don't know.
Listen, with me, you might as well.
Scarlet is a glitch selection of Katana in the original Mortal Kombat. If you turned the control sticks too quickly and selected Katana, she would have red, and it would just be Katana.
Oh,
and so they later brought her in as a character and just named her Scarlet.
Oh, okay.
That is cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah. So let's see here. What did you think was the best fight sequence in the movie?
Bi-Han and Hanzo. It's a toss-up between the very beginning or the very end, but those are my when
I'm
that
gonna
was on.
definitely go the ending one over the first one, but I you're right. The first one was also very good.
Yeah.
I just have an appreciation for the kung fu and samurai and ninja. And
I am
shit
very,
like
very partial to the Goro sequence too, though.
that.
On the dude's land and everything, and in the barn.
Goro went out like a sucker. Like it. Man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with J2 on this one also. The more so the ending, just because I kind of found the end you kind of got them as their actual fully developed characters with the actual move sets, whereas the first one it's almost like a peek into what's gonna happen.
Yep. So what do you think about the lead character?
Cole Young?
I have okay. You know what? I have my opinions on that, but I'll let one of you guys take it first.
I have
Dude, he's so pouty. So pouty. Like,
this is great because it's going to lead into what I got to say about
I'm not the fighter I used to be. I'm not I'm not the bro. You are descended from the ultimate greatest warrior, Hanzo. You acting like a bitch. Sorry, no pun intended. No things like my poor choice of language, but I didn't like Cole Young. I didn't like Cole Young. I didn't like his haircut, and
Haircut.
he didn't stick with me like glue.
I'm gonna let Hyper say his piece, and then I'm gonna tell you guys something that might make you look at it a little bit.
But if they were gonna take that route and do a descendant or some type of lineage to him, why didn't you just bring in who was it, Tinkata from the game?
Yeah, Takata, I think.
Yeah. If you go look up his origin, you're gonna be like, oh wow, and he carries two Badon things as well. So I'm like, but Cole Young, no, that's my opinion.
Okay, I don't think.
Different?
Actually, I'll just be adding to J2's opinion more than differing from it. Yeah, man. Listen, when the movie was announced, my initial thought was with all this fully fleshed out characters you have to choose from. I don't know. I wasn't even sure why they picked an original character to be a lead, like someone who was great. So that was my first kind of, I guess, like head scratcher, I guess you could say. And then when I actually saw that character, especially when you compare him to other more interesting characters in the movie, I honestly didn't have much invested in the character in general, and I think that's not good for a main lead, because usually the main lead is supposed to be the guy that hooks you into the movie. To be honest, I mean my only investment in the character was, okay, he has a wife and a daughter. Okay, so that's if it was a single dude,
they did a good job with that family too, though.
Yeah, but pretty much his family was pretty much the only reason that I cared. Okay, so he needs to protect his family. That's it. But if it was like just him as a character, I didn't have much at stake for him. I mean, like even when he got his whole his kana or kata, whatever it's called, it just felt like I don't know.
The homie got a gold armor suit. My thing. It's just Cole Young. It was, I don't know. I had something in my head.
The payoff didn't seem like it was there for me when he got that suit. It just felt like he went from like A to Z, and there was nothing in between. So yeah.
So okay, so I pretty much do agree with both of you guys, but I'm going to tell you guys something that I think might, or I hope would, kind of change your view a little bit when you look at it like this, especially if we're talking sequels. Luke Skywalker's a badass in Return of the Jedi, but he is a whiny bitch in A New Hope with a bad haircut.
This is true. This is very, very. I didn't think about it like that.
And you care about Han Solo, Chewie, and Obi-Wan and Princess Leia more than you care about Luke in that movie. But you care a lot about Luke in Return of the Jedi. And
I just hope they don't make him like some type of new version of Scorpion. Like, nah, Scorpion is Scorpion. So I hope. All right. That's what I would.
But I'm just saying, like, looking forward, like, if we are looking at this as sequels, they have an opportunity to make you somewhat be reserved about this character now and make him better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if they go that, if that's the formula there, then just something to think about. If you start thinking about Luke Skywalker when you think about this character and see what they do with him. Now, whether they do that properly in the next movie is to be said, but I'm willing to see it through and see what happens. And I did like how they did the family. I thought the storyline was good.
Yeah, the family's
the character was a little bit Mary Sue, but I thought that the storyline was good.
Yo, like how dope though if his daughter discovers the dragon and she starts.
I knew that. Yeah, I think that's absolutely going to happen because she's bloodline too. There's a reason why Sub-Zero's there for her.
That's true. Yeah,
Sub-Zero, that damn bastard. Oh, he made me so mad in the movie. He's such an awesome character, but he made me so mad.
You know what? Of all the characters, I thought even Shang Tsung, I thought Sub-Zero was probably the most, like, if you're looking at like fighter stats, it felt like Sub-Zero was like at S tier. And like in terms of how they kind of portrayed him throughout the whole movie.
Yep.
And even pretty much all the way to the end, it almost like it essentially took two dudes to basically kind of take him down.
Definitely. I mean, but Joe Taslim is a beast in real life. Like
in the rain.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Joe Taslim is such a beast. And I don't even want to butcher his name. The gentleman who played Scorpion, dude is a beast in real life.
Hiroki Sanada.
I call him Hanzo. He's the real Hanzo.
I would gladly watch a movie with that guy as the lead. I've never seen him with anything.
Really? No,
he was also in the Wolverine.
Yeah, he was in Endgame. But in Endgame, he literally had like a 2-minute scene where he got killed by Ronan, Jeremy Renner's character. I don't know if you guys remember that.
That's wow.
I have not even seen Endgame. I haven't seen hardly any Marvel movies.
Oh wow. Okay.
Nope.
Okay. Well, I didn't. It wasn't a major spoiler. It wasn't a major spoiler I just gave you. It was just
I don't care. You can spoil a movie for me that's out fucking 10 years.
Man. Yeah, him and Joe Taslim, they're forced to be reckoned with, and I think they did that movie justice along with Kano.
Yeah, Kano did really good. Yeah, and that's hard to beat too because the old Kano was great at 95.
Kano was fantastic, dude.
Yeah. Here's my thing about Kano that. Although I liked him as a character, my issue with Kano is this. I thought that they gave him too much shine to the point that I kind of felt like he almost like the way they made him way too much charismatic and funny and like developed his character. It almost kind of spotlighted on some of the other characters how they're a bit more wooden. I found put it this way.
And I thought, even though I liked all the quips that he said, I think he used a lot of fucking pop culture references. It was
awesome, dude. He ruined Liu Kang's badass moment so hard.
That's
like
exactly
when Liu Kang, he's walking across the sun setting, he's all like, "Oh, Liu Kang." Kano's like, "Whoa, MC Hammer."
Yeah. While we got time about this though, that's a really important thing. The fact that they brought in. Kung Lao, and everybody knows that Kung Lao was considered the cheap character in MK2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they made him the only one of the Earth people that were badass, right? And then they had him killed off and his soul taken by Shang Tsung, which fits in with that plot line in MK2 about Shang Tsung controlling Kung Lao.
Yeah, I don't think it's the last we're going to see of Kung Lao. I think because he's probably one of the more popular faces that on the hero side. I would think if you ask people that watch the movie who's your favorite, especially just his fatality alone in that movie probably gave him extra points.
It's fire, bro.
I definitely would like to see more of him. I think he's going to come back in a sequel as somebody controlled by Shang Tsung.
Coming back, do you guys think Kano is dead, or do you think he'll end up with the whole prosthetic and they're gonna regenerate him come back?
Remember the stage setting in Mortal Kombat 2 with Sonya tied up and Kano on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna do that. I think they're gonna do that.
I think they're gonna go more deeper. They're gonna go more balls deep in terms of getting him because right now you just got a bit of just his red eye, but I think you're gonna start getting that whole plate and all that that half face.
I'll tell you what else I really
smashed that eye too. It's the right eye that got the the
Yeah.
whoosh. So I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh.
I like how they straight up asked Raiden if he could take anybody anywhere, and he's sending them around to freaking famous locales for Mortal Kombat. That was badass, dude. It's like a reason why they're fighting in random locations. You know, that's really cool.
It very much felt like cutscenes in the Mortal Kombat game, like the newer ones.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. I liked it, man.
I
All
did.
around, dude, this movie, I thought it was dope. Kano was my comedic relief when I needed to laugh. Cole made me angry with Sub-Zero. And the moment Scorpion popped back on screen, guys, sitting in the theater, probably embarrassed my child, my friends, but I didn't care, man. I was so hyped. And right when the end credits, at the very end of the movie, I legitly stood up in the theater and yelled at Mortal Kombat. Like Mortal Kombat. I was so
Hey, man,
excited.
you
People
had
laughed.
you had the whole theater to yourself.
Did you guys
Man,
like how the
well,
theme
I
was
invited
used?
a couple friends and stuff.
Do you like how the theme was used like throughout the movie? Like it was
I
totally.
liked it. I like
Oh,
the
yeah.
fact that they paid homage to it, because how could you not? I think you'd have been more disappointed if they didn't acknowledge. And even
And
the
it wasn't
trailer,
just that theme either. There is music from some of the games, like the boom sound that was used in the movie.
I mean,
It was fun, man.
for me, and I told this to my other friends, like the beginning and the ending act, the final act, is what kind of pushed it over a positive score for me. The only thing, the middle part was a bit padded from, because okay, here's the thing: if this was the first Mortal Kombat movie I ever saw, I think I would have enjoyed it more so. Not that I'm saying that I enjoy it, but
Because you have that to put it up against.
the fact that I'm I can't help myself. I'm gonna compare it to the '95.
It's hard.
And the thing is, there's certain, like, for me, some of the casting choices, like I prefer the '95 Liu Kang a lot more than the Liu
Oh,
Kang.
the '95 Liu Kang for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I still think the Sonya thing's a toss-up. I think they're both good, but without a doubt, the '95 Liu Kang.
I'm
Robin
going
Chu
with
is awesome, man.
Yeah, I'm going with '95 Sonya. I mean, I'm trying to think. The only
I don't know.
character
That's the one that I'm leaning a little more toward this one, but I mean that's not to say I don't like the '95 Sonya. I'm gonna go '95 Sonya, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go present day Sonya, and I'm gonna go '95 Goro. And
the only so the only present day characters that I thought I would take over the '95 characters is definitely Scorpion and Sub-Zero. The present day Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, Sub-Zero and Scorpion, they were kind of treated like henchmen of Shang Tsung. They didn't really have much of a story to them in '95. They were just like foot soldiers.
Right.
That's true. They're like
It's
under control. Or whatever.
My sister-in-law, she said that. So my brother enjoyed the movie a lot.
Later, Lewis.
My sister-in-law said that this movie was Mortal Kombat meets Power Rangers. She said she loved the beginning, she loved the end, but the middle part was like a real like Power Ranger-y journey, Power Ranger-esque journey.
I can see that. Yeah.
And I can see that, but I think I lean more towards because how much it was fun. Because I love Mortal Kombat and I'm a fan of it.
I think what Hyper's saying
could have been way worse. It was good. You know what I mean?
I think what Hyper's saying is good because I definitely leaned into thinking the movie was starting to dip, but it didn't last long. Like there wasn't a big 30-minute gap in the movie. There was like maybe 8 or 10 minutes where it started to feel like it might have fallen.
No, and the thing is, this is a movie that I think, because here's the thing. Okay, because I guess I wasn't aware that there's going to be future movies until I saw the movie afterwards, because I thought we were actually going to get the tournament right then and there. So I think probably that's why I kind of was a bit let down.
You were worried that there was going to be a whole tournament crammed into 15 minutes.
Well, actually, I was more disappointed that we didn't get a tournament, and then come to find out that okay, they're just setting it up for the next. Which I mean, okay, I'll let it play out. But I guess because the way things are going, like Shang Tsung was basically breaking every rule. Like if you notice in '95, they're pretty strict on like you can't touch my people. Whereas in this, felt like it was like a free for all. You could anything goes almost.
Shang Tsung gave.
Sean brought up Raiden. That's tough because Christopher Lambert is an awesome actor, and
I prefer Christopher Lambert, even though technically
that's Highlander, right? We're talking about Highlander.
Yeah, it's Highlander.
Okay, but you know what? By far, the character that I thought should have come back at least to reprise his role, and he could have easily played that role, even because it's an old dude, Shang Tsung, the
the guy. Yeah. Oh man.
the '95 Shang Tsung, his face and everything. That you guys all probably saw the memes, right, on the internet where like that your soul is mine, like
Oh yeah, dude.
No.
95 Shang Tsung is so menacing, and he's
Yeah.
a badass. This one,
It's how
you
you
didn't really see
say
him do
a
much in this
deal
one.
is a deal.
I can't help looking like not ignoring the fact that this Shang Tsung was the same dude that basically was the accountant in Dark Knight, in the Asian account that basically sold out the Falcones. It's just
I
it,
thought
it,
though, I liked this rating. It was cool. I thought it was cool. I thought they could have done better work on his CGI eyes.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what I
it's
mean?
yeah.
But
Sean's saying new rating was spot on. See, that's the fish I was saying. That Christopher Lambert is awesome. He was awesome as Raiden, but this guy was perfect as Raiden.
yeah, he did good.
I think I probably I mean I guess I like Christopher Lambert's rating because I guess between the two he seemed like the more charismatic, and he actually had a bit more like he had a bit more of a personality to him. I guess maybe that's not what people are looking for in Raven, but I guess
Dude, and
that's
he has that weaselly laugh.
So, guys,
yeah.
we got to wind this down because Sparks is going to go live in like 3 minutes.
Sparks.
Okay.
So I want to get final thoughts from both of you, and then I'll say a final thought.
Hyper?
Okay. Yeah. So final thoughts. Overall, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. Could it have been better? Sure. It wasn't a perfect movie, but I enjoyed, and I think this is one of those movies that I'll probably appreciate more on repeat viewing. And I'm hoping that the movie does well enough at the box office that it warrants sequels. Because I know that apparently when someone asked them this question, they said I think it's apparently the fans are going to decide the future of this franchise. So I'm hoping that we get more. Yeah.
Right on.
Um, if you're going into this movie expecting for Scorpion and Sub-Zero to win Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, like this movie's not for you. If you want to go in and just have fun, watch a dope movie, kick back, be a kid again, think about the game, you're gonna love this movie. I love this movie. I give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. 7.58 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd probably say 6.5 or 7 for me.
I'm not going to give a rating on that. I'd have to really think about that because we are talking about putting it up against the all-time best video game movie of all time. If I say it's a 9, if I say it's an 8, then you got to think, okay, well, what's Mortal Kombat, the first one? What I will say is this. What I will say is that we now have 2 out of 3 good Mortal Kombat movies in the world.
Yeah.
And we have 2 for 2 bad Street Fighter movies. So that means that Street Fighter needs to step it up. And there's no reason they can't do one now.
I'm hoping,
Maybe they get hyper Morpheus to direct. We'll get something nice in there.
But honestly, that is my hope, though. I'm hoping that with the reception that this movie got, that Street Fighter might get a bit of a revival.
I think
it'll generate, bro. It'll generate that, and I'm gonna call out Killer Instinct.
Yeah, we were talking about that before you jumped on.
Nice.
We haven't seen a Killer Instinct movie yet, so yeah, that would be dope as well. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Sean's talking. That's what I'm talking about, man. That Chun-Li movie. I only saw a little bit of it. It didn't seem that good.
It was passable. It was passable. Put it that way.
I didn't see enough of it to really call it. But anyway, we got to wrap this up. Everybody, go over to Sparks Comics. He's going to be interviewing the creator of. I have not read this comic. What is it? Dino Crushers? Is that what it's called? Dino.
I have not read it.
I haven't read it.
Dino Thrashers. It's Dino Thrashers. That's what it is. He's got the creator of Dino Thrashers on, and they're probably going live as we're speaking right now because we're up to the bottom of the minute. So I will meet these guys backstage. And everybody, thank you for watching.
Go watch Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, go watch the movie. Thanks for watching us live, watching the rewind. Thanks for your comments, everything. And we'll catch you guys later.
Flawless streak.